One of those malign activities that's upsetting Washington right now is supposed Russian hacking. Microsoft claims it's thwarted a fresh attack. The tech giant says the targets were the U.S. Senate and conservative think tanks. But mainstream outlets reporting on Microsoft's findings rushed to draw their usual conclusion about who might be behind them.
Attempts by Russia to hack U.S. Senate and conservative groups.
A hacking group affiliated with the Russian government.
The Russian military operation, the intelligence operation.
The Russian military intelligence unit.
We're joined live by our correspondent Igor Zhdanov with more. Now take us through what Microsoft said.
Well, basically what the company is saying, that they've seized control from some group that they believe are Russian hackers over a bunch of websites that were recently created and designed to copycat the websites of some like Republican groups, conservative groups of the Congress and so on and so forth. This technique in the IT talk is called phishing, and it's basically designed to lure people in and to deceive them, to make them believe that they're visiting the actual website while they're not. And then the perpetrator can pretty much do anything they want. They can send them like emails, phishing emails with like wrong information. They can send them viruses and so on and so forth. And Microsoft is saying that it is resembling the situation that developed right before the presidential elections in 2016. Have a listen.
We saw this during the United States general election in 2016, last May during the French presidential election, and now in a broadening way as Americans are preparing for the November midterm elections.
Now, for those of you who don't understand, the midterms elections is basically the elections in Congress where almost all seats are up for grabs. So they view it as an important thing, and they probably think that Russians would want to hack into those, you know, to distribute the weight, the power within Congress. So that's why they're concerned.
So this is a significant accusation. Is there any indication of what might come out of this?
Well, speaking about significance, there's a bunch of flaws in this that kind of jump out to anyone who's even a little bit tech savvy. First and foremost, these websites then can be, these domains, they can be created from anywhere in the world. They can be created from any basement, from the comfort of anyone's flat or apartment, really. Microsoft insists it's fancy bears. It's like kind of a notorious hacking group, and we won't delve deep into this, but let's just say that their link to the Russian government is very debatable. It's a subject to debate. It's not an established fact. But even still, if it's fancy bears, the thing is, Microsoft explicitly says that they found, and I quote, no evidence that these domains were used in any successful attack. Moreover, they do not have any evidence to indicate the identity of targets or even the number of targets of these apparent planned attacks. So what we have here on our hands is a bunch of websites that were created, and no one has even attempted to do anything with them. And this is what the Russian statement on this matter pointed out.
Again, we have to state what was thought to be obvious. Despite our desire, it's impossible to comment on statements made without any evidence and that are clearly created for public attention. It's said that a big international company that successfully worked for a long time in the Russian market has to be a part of the witch hunt that has invaded Washington.
Well, bottom line is, every time they hear the word hacking, especially journalists, well, they jump at it and they automatically assume Russia, especially if they have, you know, the trigger words in the text.
Well, nevertheless, Microsoft is, of course, a veteran of the tech world. They carry a lot of weight, and they insist that the threat is real. Will the U.S. act on that warning?
Microsoft, in fact, has even made a suggestion as to how the potential victims of the attacks should act, and they've suggested that it's their tool they should be installing. They've announced that they're developing a thing called Microsoft Account Guard, and I wish I could say it's the follow the money trail, but it isn't here. They're promising to provide it for free to anyone who may fall victim of the attack. So candidates, campaigns, and so on and so forth. There will be threat notification, and they promise to guide their clients through how to make these networks and email systems more secure. So ultimately, I'm afraid I have to say that it looks like a very well-designed, I have to admit, PR campaign on behalf of Microsoft. And anyway, whether there is a threat, whether there isn't, well, they're pushing their tool here.